Very good morning to you all. Very good morning to you all. First, we would like to thank you all for joining us today via this digital platform for another informative webinar organized by Department of Data Science, NSBM Green University. So, welcome you all to the third webinar of Evolve webinar series. In this session, we will be discussing how to make a strong CV that will help you to get ahead of this competition of job seeking. As we all know, IT industry is very competitive field and we have to market our skills correctly to grab the best opportunities. In our previous webinar, we discussed how to use social media in this paradigm. And today we will discuss how to prepare your CV for an interview. We have well experienced and I would say just the right person joining here today. Mr. Aniston Leo, Associate Consultant for HR, the Virtusa Private Limited, Sri Lanka, is the speaker of the day. I would like to warmly welcome you, Mr. Aniston, and thank you very much for accepting our invitation and joining with us to make this event success. He will discuss practical tips to prepare a winning CV, and I'm sure you will gain all the information you need to know about preparing your CV as an IT undergraduate. So without talking too much time, I will hand over the session to Mr. Aniston Leo. Sir, you can share your presentation now. The stage is yours, sir.
All right, thank you so much, Ceremony. It was a great, wonderful introduction, and I'm pleasure to have you guys over here, and a pleasure to be over here as well. So let me, yeah, just confirm me whether you guys can see my screen. Yeah. Could you all able to see my screen?
Yes, Mr. Aniston, we can see.
Oh, all right. Okay, thank you. So without further delay, let's get started. So I don't have to give another introduction about myself because already Seveni has given a great introduction. Thank you so much on that. And I'm very humbled and thankful for the invitation. And because day to day, we have seen thousands and thousands of CVs and thousands of candidates that we have contacting each and every day, and especially in NSBM, it's one of our great university partner along the side. So with other universities as well. So we have a great a wonderful relationship with NSBM. So there's no doubt about it. So we would like to, because we are conducting these sessions and we encourage people to conduct these sessions to the university capacity, because people need to know, because these days everybody is working online and people are doing everything online. So there's no lot of interaction happens. There's interaction in the sense there's no human touch in a sense. Yeah. So that should be a person or people you need to interact and get to know a lot of things. Let's say when you go around, let's say when you go to a different, when you meet up a friend or when you meet in colleges or whatsoever, you'll discuss a lot of things. Or maybe when you meet, let's say go for an interview or something, you get to see a lot of CVs and people how they have been tailor-made and everything. All right. So now we are working from home and everything is going virtually. I mean, majority of the company has not still started back their physical appearance, but there are a couple of people coming back, but not majority. Yeah. So the interviews are still happening across during the virtual. So you need to understand, okay, industry has the responsibility to come and educate the students and how to succeed in your career. All right. So, and as we see, find yourself, right? So here we are conducting, the university is conducting in order for your benefit to make sure that you find yourself, right? So through these sessions, let's get started on finding how to write a winning CV, right? So without further delay, I'll get started around, because I also was once I was an intern. I was started my career. I just want to give a little bit of glimpse about my career, how I've been progressed. So I was started as an intern at Virtusa, and then associate executive, now associate consultant, and I've been engaging partner with all the universities across Sri Lanka, and also some partnership with India as well, Indian Virtusa. And then it's about me collaborating with a lot of undergraduate hiring and the fresh graduate hiring. So whoever whom you get passed out, you will be meeting me in first contact point of Virtusa and my team as well, right? So we have seen a lot of CVs, right? We have seen great number of CVs, and we have come across a lot of tips and breaks points that we want to make sure that the people who come out of the university or apply for any jobs will make sure that they actually follow all this instruction that we are going to give it to you today during this session. All right. So in order to give, before you get started for this session, I would earnestly request you all to unmute your microphone and talk as much as possible. If you have any sort of clarifications or any sort of that you have a doubt or something, feel free, because this is all your classmates and batchmates have been joining in. So there is no shy, or you don't have to feel afraid about it. So just unmute your microphone and talk, all right, as much as possible, because I don't want to make this as a lecture sort of session. So let's make it really interactive, right? So we would love to have in physical, but unfortunately, unavoidable circumstances, we are having it online. But let's make this the best maximum time of it. All right. Okay, great started. So I want to start off with these couple of pointers, right? Why do we hold on, guys? Okay, we are good. Okay, what is exactly a CV for? All right. And when do we need this CV? And what is the purpose of this CV? All right. You need to know this W and this purpose, right? What is CV? When is you needed this CV? And what is the purpose of it, right? For an example, let's say you buy a electronic appliance, or when you buy something new, all right? Like especially this applicable for the electronic appliance. So when you buy this electronic appliance, you don't know how to use it, all right? So it's there in the market, or let's say you buy a mobile phone, or mobile phone, everybody can use it. But let's say if you buy something like like a microwave oven, or some related to some electronic appliance, right? Or maybe a refrigerator or whatsoever, like in a very modified and very updated refrigerator. So you need to have a sort of user guidance, or you need to understand what is exactly that is, or what is this about, how do you use it, or maybe mixture, or if you're like a person who's who's a lover of bakings and everything, so you like to go for this mixtures and everything. So when you buy those products, you will identify, okay, how do you use it, okay, which switch is about for what purpose. All right. So then what are the the timeline that you need to use it, some electronic appliance that you can't use it for long time, some electronic appliance you can't use it while it's been plugged into the charge, some other rechargeable, so you have to unplug the power and then you have to use it. So there is a sort of set of document which says, okay, this product is all about this. All right. That get entire concept applied to yourself as well. You are a product, all right? You are a product to the industry. You are coming out as a graduate, or maybe undergraduates. Once you're done with your second year or so third year, you'll be coming to the industry saying so and so is a person who's ready to get applied to a job or ready to work. Okay, then you are ready. Then how, as a industry partner, how are we supposed to know who you are? All right. So there were 600, I mean, every year there are close to 4,000 to 5,000 graduates are coming out. All right. Let's say there are topmost very large companies 10 to 15 companies in Sri Lanka. All right. There are close to 19 universities. So let's say altogether there are 4,000 to 5,000 students coming out, closer to one batch out. All right. However, those companies are gonna go and recruit those people. Let's say if you want to buy a product, there are millions of millions of microwave ovens are there. There are so much of models and everything. How you do identify the exact product what you need? All right. So you need to understand a document, sort of documents. How do you use that and everything? Then while you're applying that to yourself, you need to have a sort of document saying this is I have, this is what I have, this is what I have been through, this is what I have, this is one like qualification. All right. So then you need to structure that in a document space. All right. Then you have to present it to the market and say, hey, see, I'm Aniston, I'm so and so, I'm this much of experience, this is my educational background, this is my skills and co-curricular and curricular. Okay, I'm ready to work with you. So you have to put it out in a document and say, okay, this is I am. You have to label yourself. All right. So that is what the purpose of a CV as well. It's a written document of your work experience, educational background, and skills. All right. In like, let's say if when you're putting up a let's say if you're like how do I say when you're buying a electronic appliance, all right, in the document they have only they would only mention what is necessary. All right. They won't mention everything and everything. It's not about the biography of that particular product, where that this component be established, where it was being manufactured. They will put like made in so and so country, but they won't say what is the manufacture process and everything. They won't mention anything like that. All right. They will specify only what is exactly that you need to know. Exactly the same concept you need to apply to your CV as well. You need to mention what is exactly that you need to showcase to the industry. All right. It's not a biography forum. All right. Don't write paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs for the recruiters or maybe the hiring managers to read. It's not a storybook or it's not a storytelling time. All right. It's not about your story. All right. CV is a place you have to have very minimal writings and very minimal talking. All right. You can do the job of talking and you can explain yourself during the interview. That's a different story. All right. But make sure that it has been structured properly. So let's work on how do you structures and everything. And then, like, as I mentioned before, you need to apply to a job while you're applying to a job, because not only to apply to a job, because right now we are focusing mainly on that. So that's what I have mentioned over here. When you're applying to the job, you mainly use that. And then you are going, if you're like migrating and you use that CV, or if you're trying to apply for a master's, or maybe if you're trying to apply for some higher education, some different qualification, you need to have a CV, right? But the main purpose of a CV is always to apply for a job. As I mentioned before, the purpose of it is an opportunity to get a good and first impression. Let's say let's say if I'm buying a microwave oven, and that's a great quality, and that's absolutely a great quality, more than all the other ovens in the industry, in the market. But if the manufacturing company doesn't really give the correct information about that particular microwave oven, even though they have their product is exceptional, all right, if they don't give a correct and adequate information, nobody's going to buy. All right. Nobody's care to buy at all. It's the same apply to you as well. Even though if you are a batch top, even though if you are a person who's like exceptionally great candidate, and if you are like a very practical oriented person or very talented individual, if you don't structure your CV, if you don't put the adequate information in your CV, then it's a waste of time, and you're gonna waste your career for sure. We have seen a lot of people like that, because the university used to recommend us, okay, hey, Aniston, like this person, because mainly I talk a lot of with deans and your deans and all the career guidance units heads and everyone. So I used to get the people who are like batch tops and batch who's in the first class and everything. Not that we omit all those people who got the merits and everything. It's just we want to identify who those people are. All right. Then we identify those people, and when we put them to the interviews and when we get their CVs, we don't see anything impressive, right? We don't we don't really get that sort of first class student, or maybe the batch top or something like that. But maybe that student might be really brilliant, but he or she doesn't know how to portray themselves. So you really need to work it out. All right. As I said before, like if you buy an electronic appliance, or if you are a person who's like manufacturing that product, you need to give the information, right information to the market, saying, okay, this is the product, this is what you have. Okay, this is what differentiates from the other. This is what the lifelong guarantees and also ever. All right. Then only people will get attracted. It's sort of a marketing thing, right? So that's what we said. It's a marketing tool, right? Your CV should be a marketing tool, and it has to give. If I see, because every day we are shortlisting more to 50 to 60 CVs for one position. Let's say if you have one internship or two internship for data science or machine learning, we get like, like kind of 30 to 50 profiles. All right. But we can't go and interview all these 30 people, right? So we make sure that we pick the right person. So you should be the right person. All right. If you make your CV in a great scale, that's what it's all about, winning a CV. All right. It doesn't mean anything like that. It doesn't mean anything beyond that. All right. So let's get started. How do you structure it out? How does the importance of your CV? Make sure that you don't go wrong in your first impression, because you will never gonna have a second chance of your career, for sure, whatever happens. All right. Always make that whenever you share your CV, like make that first impression as a best impression. All right. Because when you're like, when we are trying to shortlist a CV, we just get a glance and say, okay, okay, this person has, because there are a couple of areas that we mainly focus on. All right. I'll tell you what are those areas that we mainly focus on, so we can work around that, right? So make sure that your CV looks impressive. It's not about giving the color coding. It's not about, it's don't get that mentality, guys. All right. It's not about giving the color coding or making it so fancy or whatsoever. No, we're not that. All right. I'll tell you how to make a CV impressive, right? So let's get started on that. Your CV should stand out from the other people. Let's say if there are 30 profiles coming across, we'll interview maximum 5 people only. All right. We don't interview even 10 people, because it's a huge long, because like everybody is having a tight schedule these days, right? Even I'm also like, from in the morning I was in a review call, and then I have to join back again another review call. So everybody's having a tight schedule, right? So but I make sure that, give some time to, like, shortlist and screen up CV. All right. We give the time. Right. So you need to make sure that you need to stand out. You need to draw attention to your relevant skills, experience, achievements, and potentials. Right. Those are the things that we normally check it out. All right. We don't we do check it out, your GP and everything, but make sure that you actually highlight those things, not that bold or put a different font size or whatsoever. I'll tell you how do you highlight those, important things in a very simple way, but it has to be impressive. It's not about making red color, green color, or maybe luminous color whatsoever, making it highlighted. No, not at all. Don't have that mentality. All right. So it's all about how do you structure? What are the information that you put in? It makes your, the how do I say, the CV standing out from the relevant, the rest of the candidates. All right. And then eventually that will definitely turn up the recruiter to get your CV for an interview. Okay. So we are going to work on that for sure. These are the 5 main pieces that I want to give it to you guys. So if anybody is taking notes down, please do take, all right, because those are very important and we have spent a lot of time in preparing this. So make sure that you get the big maximum out of it. And if you have any questions, please unmute your microphone and ask it out. There is no restriction or anything like that. Or else just maybe in the chat box, you can put it. That's perfectly fine. All right. Yeah. So 5 main pieces. What are the 5 main pieces? First, back in time, it was like we used to have these papers and everything. So, I see these days we're having in the Word format or PDF format or whatsoever. All right. So your CV should not go beyond, how do I say, 1 to 2 pages. If you are an undergraduate, your CV should maintain, all right, only in 1 page. All right. Maximum you can go for 2 pages. All right. Do not go beyond 2 pages. Please make sure. All right. Do not go beyond 2 pages. All right. It has to be very, very, very simple. All right. Simple as in like not one line or like, like that, but it has to be very simple, but make sure that you have only 1 or 2 pages. 1.5 is great. All right. If 2 is the maximum, don't go beyond 2. All right. Then your CV should be a perfect, it should be like, how do I say? Proofreading should be done million times. Okay. So make sure that you do, you like, check your CV, spellings, grammar, punctuation, everything million times. All right. Don't have any technical error. All right. So some spelling mistake would be there and everything. So do not give space for those things. All right. The the font size and everything has to be very, very, very precise. All right. So we'll be working on what are the font size and everything. So I will tell you in the upcoming slides what are the font size that you have to include and everything. So make sure that it is plainless and perfect, and page is very important. Then the paper. So your resume should be a color with like a very cool. Ideally, it should be white or else butter or what. So a very cool color. Don't go for this like, black color and white font and all those things. It's not that very catching. All right. Not catching. It's not a professional side of it. Right. So make sure that your CV has a very cool color or maybe the white color. That's the ideal. If not so, you can go for like very cool color. Pale color would be good. Right. And then like, back in time, we used to put in a large envelope and send it across. But now these days, all of us working from home and, everything going online. So you don't have to worry about that. Position. When you send a CV to somebody, or not somebody, to any company, right? Always in the subject line, mention your name and your position that you applied. Internship data science or internship machine learning, or maybe internship machine learning and your name, which is very important. I have seen a lot of people, all right, majority, all right, not 1 or 2, they used to send their CV, my CV. They used to send their CV, please consider this CV for any position. That's good. I mean, like, that's not bad, but you need to make sure that you know what you're applying for. When we see those type of CVs, we don't give a lot of attention because you are not very like, professional, because right now you can understand why your CVs are getting rejected, or you can identify why you are not being selected, or maybe you might be applying to a lot of companies, you might be applying to a lot of places, you are waiting for ages and ages and ages. You might be thinking, why am I not getting any calls, or why am I not getting this to this company? Aren't they hiring or whatsoever? All right. So these are the things that we normally check as a recruiter, as an industry. How do you be more professional of it? My CV, what, like, you need to, it's not like it's your CV. Yes, we know about it, but you need to make sure that what you're applying and who you are. All right. And then make sure that you attach not the Word document. Please don't attach a Word document because it is very not professional enough. Always make sure to always send it out in a PDF format. All right. Worst case scenario, make sure that you send it out in a Word document as well. But your first priority should be on PDF. All right. Convert the Word into PDF. All right. You guys know how to do that, converting Word into PDF. So convert into PDF, a readable format, and send it across. Do not send just like, a snap or maybe like a image or whatsoever, because those are not very professional. So make sure that you send it across in a PDF form. Those are the 5 P's that I want to mention to you all. All right. So you all have any questions? I hope that we'll open it up for Q&A towards the last, like a very overall Q&A. If you have any questions, please take it down so we can come back and spend a little bit of time on that. Yeah. So if it's possible, just make sure that the slide number as well, so we can come back and make sure that you are clarified with that doubts at all. Right. So we are trying to help you. So be more interactive. Right. First, structuring the CV. On the top of the list, you need to have your personal details. Your name, which is very important. All right. How do you put your name? All right. 𝐃𝐚𝐿 Ratnayaka. Okay. 𝐴KRMAAN Jayawardena. Okay. So how are we gonna supposed to call you? Hi, I'm from Aniston from Virtusa. Can I speak to 𝐃𝐚𝐿 Jayawardena? No. All right. So don't have that. Your first name, your calling name, and your surname. 2 names is more than enough. All right. It's greatly enough. Right. So if you have other names, you can go other details and mention all the names that you want, because there are some people who would like to say all their names, but make sure that you put it across in the other details, not in the person details on the purpose on top of your page. Because we have seen like a 50% of candidates who making that particular name, like, PGDKLMA Ratnayaka. So don't have that. If it is like, for an example, if it is Aniston Leo, that's it. If I have other like another 5 to 6 names, I can put that into my other details. I don't have to tell everything over in the person. So those are the very important things. All right. When we are shortlisting the CV. So your font size should be 20 to 22. All right. And it should be bolded. All right. It should be 20 to 22 and it should be bolded right on the top. All right. And then your address have to follow it up. Your address should be 12 in the font size and you should have a permanent residential address. All right. Let's say if you're an example, why do we need address? All right. We might be asking, we are going to go for a job. Why do we need an address? Right. Companies would like to do a background verification. Are you really genuine person coming from this particular address? Because if you are a person who's like, when you get selected, we check your CV, the information that you have in your CV and your documents that you submit. It has to match together. Let's say if you give one address and your your NIC or maybe what's the document that you have mentioned, because sometimes your resident might change, whatever there is NIC and everything. But there are some documents when you produce, you'll have a place that you will be mentioned, okay, in this particular address, how long were you staying? All right. What is your current address? What is your living address or permanent address or your current address? You might be from a different entity and then you will be living in Colombo for job purpose or university purpose or whatsoever. All right. So when you're mentioning your address, please mention your permanent address, not where you're living. Maybe when you're living, you can put your other information. You can put your current residential address or whatsoever, but make sure that you put your permanent address, which is very important. All right, that should be 12 in font size. Then your email. Again, lot of people, not minimal number, a lot, they mention the email incorrectly. Guys, which is the first contact point that we normally give it to you. Email address and your phone number, it's very important. All right. Please make sure that you check a million times before you send a CV. There are a lot of people have mentioned Gmail, GMIL, or they will miss out GMAL, or they will miss out GAIL. There are CVs. I'm not making up the stories and telling you. There are CVs who sent across like that. And also your email address has to be professional. All right. Don't have that, sweet99@gmail.com. We have seen a lot of CVs like that, or sorry, a lot of emails like that. Sweet99@gmail.com. There are a lot of fancy names, right? But don't have those fancy names when you're coming to the corporate. You need to have professional. If you like AnistonLeo@gmail.com, all right, or Aniston_88@hotmail.com, whatever. All right, it has to be professional, professionally put it out. And your phone number, all right, make sure that you write your cell phone number. All right, put the country code and write your entire cell phone number, which is the calling number. And you need to have a secondary number, either one of your parents or your home number. All right. I would always prefer the home number because home number you can contact, like somebody will be available to pick up the phone. Because if your parents, if you put your parents contact number, they will also got caught in some some other their personal activities, so they might miss your calls or whatsoever. So you always ideal to put your home number. But if you don't have something like that, always make sure that you put your parents contact number as a, or maybe a guardian contact number. All right. Make sure that you put your phone number correctly. Make sure that the numbers that you are, the digits that you have mentioned are correct. We have seen people giving somebody else's number, one number is missing, or it doesn't gives like, it doesn't start with 7, because ideally, like, all the Sri Lankan numbers are starting with 7. So it doesn't start with 7. They miss out the numbers. So please make sure that you put everything correctly. All right, that should be in 12 in font size, the third one. All right, so yeah, so email address, underneath that you need to have phone number. All right, then make sure that you put your LinkedIn link URL. All right, why do we need LinkedIn? All right, so let's say, imagine, let's say if you are like purchasing, again I'm going to that example again. If you're purchasing a product, and if you get that brochure or what's so e-brochure or what's so email or something like that, you have the like like list of information and everything. So they will think for more information, they will put their portal, they will have elaborated information in that particular portal. Maybe let's say if SoftLogic did it, or Barnes or whatsoever, they will have a like a URL portal. It will direct you to a link where you can find more information about it. LinkedIn is sort of a area that we can find more information about you beyond what you have mentioned in the CV. So tonight, your homework is always go and update your LinkedIn carefully. All right. So we can work it across and how do you structure your LinkedIn, like, professionally, that we can have a different session, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time over there. So make sure that you put your LinkedIn you update your LinkedIn every single, upliftment that you go in your career. All right. Your LinkedIn should be updated. All right. Make use of the LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a very great platform to find career and, career, not only opportunities, career options and career guidance as well. All right. So please use LinkedIn wisely and don't mess around with, it's not like the other social media platform. It's a very great platform. So you make use of it. All right. Maybe you might be saying, okay, I was not taught this module in this university or whatsoever. Make use of that in LinkedIn. All right. It's a great platform. So I'm not going to promote LinkedIn over here, but make use of LinkedIn as much as possible. All right. So then you have to put, let's say if you are a person who have like, if you have a GitHub, or if you have done a like a coding or whatsoever. So make sure that you put your, like, how do I say, that URL into that. All right. So that has to be professionally put it up. All right. So you have to mention whatever you have created, you have done a coding or what, so you have created an app or whatsoever. Just make sure that you put over there. So that's your personal details that covers everything. It clearly mentions everything, who you are at a glance. All right. Do we have any questions on that, guys? Or am I too fast for you? If I can have a simple yes or no, that would be great. Or like, oh, my line is very clear to you all as well.
No, Mr. Einstein, it's right to the page.
All right. Okay, great. So let's move across. So guys, if you have any sort of questions or any sort of information that you are needed, just write it down. So then we can open it for Q&A, and then we can spend a little bit of time on that. All right. Then the objective. All right. A lot of people might think, okay, what is this? Hold on, guys. Okay, personal objective. Okay. A lot of people think, okay, what is this objective, and what are the things? Objective is just very brief information that you specify about your statement and outline what type of employment that you're exactly the position that you're applying for. All right. It's about like, maybe you might be like, looking forward for a internship role or associate engineer or maybe engineer role or whatsoever. You just have to, in one line, not paragraphs, in one line. Do not go beyond one. So these information that I am giving to you guys are very important. All right. So please make sure that you like follow this instruction very carefully. In one line, not in one or 3 or 4 words. In one line, you have to mention what are you, what is this purpose? What's the object of this CV? All right. You know the meaning of the objective, right? So make sure that you put that objective in one line, exactly the position that you're applying for. Then the second, in the personal objective section, we go for the profile or the summary, which means you whatever that you're going to mention in a, let's say when you're doing a project or something, you go as an executive summary. This is what we do in a CV as well. All right. Imagine that you're doing a report. All right. You do an executive summary. That is a very important for all the projects. All right. When you're doing a project, executive summary gives you like an overall glimpse of what you have done in that entire project. Maybe that may be 10,000 words or 5,000 words or whatsoever. And you mention that in a not more than 100, maximum 150 words, you mention. Imagine like, you're bringing down that entire 3,000 or 5,000 or 10,000 words into 150. It's very great thing. Simply like that, you have to mention here, not more than 3 lines. 3 lines. Okay, not more than 3 lines. It always has to be 3 lines. It will be great if you can have it 2 lines or 2.5 would be great. Max, it's 3. Do not go beyond 3, which is a very important thing. Okay. So you need what you want to mention is like very brief about your strength, experience, interest, and what is your skill set and everything that you would like to showcase to your the person who's shortlisting. Entire
A small technical issue have in Mr. Anister's side, so we will wait small time.
okay, great.
Right.
Okay, thanks guys. So like, thank you so much for bringing me back. So where I stopped was like the words that I have mentioned. All right. So what I want to mention over in this point is, give me a second. This is okay. Okay. So the work experience where we really think about in this area is always what you have done. All right, what you have done, basically that you have done, what is the position that you held on and how long that you held on in that position, or maybe in the company or whatsoever. Let's say if you are like an undergraduate, like who's a person who right now starting off your internship, if you don't have any experience, you don't have to like, break your head and think, okay, what are you really gonna work on? What are you gonna put? Sorry. All right. So if you don't have, that's perfectly fine. Right? So you don't have to mention at all your work experience, because we totally understand you are an undergraduate. So you're kind of making across that this is your new job that you're kind of trying to do. So we try to make sure that you feel very comfortable, and you have to showcase yourself who you are. All right. Do not showcase like the person whom you are not. Right? So always make sure that you showcase yourself who you are. All right. Yeah, moving on to that. So the thing, if you're like a person who's like, go for a, like if you're already a person who has like done with a couple of internship, and if you have already worked in a work environment and then you are applying for a new job role, you have to list everything chronologically, which means your latest experience should be on the top. All right, then you have to go down. All right, include the dates. On your right hand side, I have mentioned like, I have put like a sample area where how you can structure it up. Like if you are like a software engineer, you have done an internship, like put a industrial part coordination or an internship from this year to this year. If you know the month, then perfectly fine. Date is not important. Sorry, day is not important. But if you really know the year is very important. If you really know the month, then perfectly fine. Then if you're like, like if you're currently working on that particular area, just put present or till today. All right. First, you have to put the title. Like let's say if you're a software engineer or intern or whatsoever title, and then the company name. It should be there. And then list down what are the things that you have done. All right. Maximum 4 to 5, more than enough. All right. If you have a lot of, make sure that you put in. But if you like, let's say internship that you will maximum go for like, 5 or 6. Okay. That's a max. And key achievements. What are the key role that you have done? Or if you have achieved something. Let's say if you, like say in Virtusa, we do have something called like the dashboarding. All right. So let's say if you're like a project team, if they have actually done a, like, if they have done a development, if a development team, if they've done something like, if they have done the project, if you have done with that project. So not only one developer will be there in the project. So there are 5 to 6 people will be there. All right. Minimum 5 to 6 people. So they will have a sort of recognition. Like let's say they will have a, let's say if you're coding, if until this particular time, it's like a game, right? So this person has coded this well. So you have the ratings and everything. So that will come in the dashboard. All right. So that's how we motivate the people. All right. So they will like to say it's not only Sri Lanka. This dashboard will be visible throughout the globe. All right. So let's say if your project, half of your project team is in US, so your name, your photo, and everything will be appeared in the US Virtusa as well. All right. In Australia, like we have 22 countries, right? So all throughout the 22 countries, your name will be there on the top of the list. All right. So it's give me a second, guys. Okay. So let's take this Q&As at the very last. All right. So just we'll spend a little bit of time in explaining that, and we'll explain it Q&A towards the last. Okay. So listing out like if you have done any key achievements, make sure that you list down that as well. All right. Use action words. All right. Present past tense, it's like, whatever that you have done in your present past, like make sure that you put like action words, very important. Then yeah, translation, very important thing. And again, 12 in font size. Don't go beyond 12. All right. So these are the work experience. And if you have an internship experience, you can mention like this. All right. But if you don't have, that's nothing to worry. You don't have to mention. But if you have, mention like this. All right. Let's say for me, it's like, let's say if you are in one company, you have been held a lot of positions. All right. You can put like this. Like, let's say for an example, myself. All right. So I've been in Virtusa for like from 2019 onwards, right? So from 19 till 2020, I was an intern. 20 to 21, I was a associate executive. 21 to 22, I was like throughout from this years January, I was an executive, and now I'm an associate consultant. So when you're being that particular positions, right? So what you have to mention is like put the inter software like HR intern, and then the company name, and then put list on very simple things. All right, you don't have to list on everything, right? So then for that designation on top of it, then put like associate executive or associate engineer, and then list down, and then on top executive and list down. and then associate consultant, so very recently, and then you have to just mention that, and you have to mention to present, because presently I'm a associate consultant, and then like you have to mention that, because your designations, everything has to mention very clearly, guys. All right, don't think like, don't get me wrong, I'm actually explaining my situation, but you have to mention everything very precisely. All right, which is very important, because we need to understand what are the positions that we held off, that what are the roles that you have done, because each position carries a lot of gravity. All right, each position carries a lot of responsibilities as well. So we know what are the responsibilities, roles and responsibilities that you like an ideal software engineer plays in a particular position. So if you have not played that particular role, then we won't be get selected, or you won't be get shortlisted for a placement. So these are the key points that we reject candidates, or we don't shortlist the candidates. So you need to make sure that you have to make like touch upon all these key points. All right. So we know, like, we are from a we are the leading IT company, and we know exactly what a software engineer does. All right. So if you really have not mentioned that particular areas, because companies to companies that different. So like generally you will have some sort of criteria that we know that, okay, this person has done, okay, this coding, okay, this person has done this person has done in this, if it is a, I'm not really familiarized with machine learning or artificial intelligence or data science. If you're done like, like if you're done, if you're like, done anything like, in specifically in terms of Python or C+ or whatever, or if you have done anything into the algorithms or whatsoever, just if expectation, those are basics. I'm just giving an example, right? So those, if you've done something like very precisely on those areas, then we will know, okay, fine, this person has done these things in this particular position. Okay, so he is up to the level. Okay, so when we can interview this person and we can go for the next level. All right. So that's how we actually shortlist CVs. All right. So when you're coming for internship, you don't have to worry about it, because you are a fresher. We totally understand, and we respect on that particular as well. And we will be interviewing you based on that. So you don't have to worry about it. Okay. So let's move on to the next, education and the qualifications. Very important for everyone. I have, before we go down, I have given you like two examples, two samples, right? So sample structures on your right and your left, right? On your right, you can see very structured and very neatly presented and everything. You can see BSc in software engineering, the university, everything is mentioned. But on your left-hand side, you can see it's everything like a paragraph. Please do not have paragraphs, which is very bad. Very bad in the sense people won't get that, mentality or impression to read your CV even, or have a look at your CV. Always jotted it points. Jotted points will definitely help you to make sure that you actually, putting out and you're making impact. All right. These are how you make your CV impressive. Okay. So far now, I have never ever mentioned to put it in a different color coding, or put it in red color or blue color or black, this red color or whatsoever. No, don't have that mentality, guys. Always the way you structure, the way you present yourself, make you very professional and make you the person who you are. All right. So let's say if you are a software engineer, if you're like, let's say if you're let's start from undergraduates, because these are the very important points that we check it out. So if you're undergraduate, make sure that you put your what are the university, what is the degree program that you're following. All right, for an example, BSc in software engineering, and put your affiliated university, NSBM, and either the Plymouth or Victoria, or like, this, there are other universities, right? So put what are the university that adjoining to that. All right. Make sure that you put NSBM, because we will never know, because let's say for like Plymouth University, they might be partnering with other universities as well, right? So if you just put like, Plymouth University, that, so if you go to UK even, or Australia, there are universities, the university is there. So you might not know whether you studied over there, or you studied over here, or whatever, right? So always make sure that you put your affiliated university along with the partnered university as well. All right. And then you need to put when did you start your degree, and when are you gonna finish your degree. Let's say 2019 to 2023. Below that, you need to mention either you're on a third year, second semester, or fourth year, second semester, or fourth year, first semester. Please mention that, which is very important. Then you're giving the precise details. These are the details that we really want to have in your CV. All right. And then if it is possible, just put a tentative time that when you will be passing out, which means when you'll be graduating, not the graduation ceremony, when you're graduating, which means that when you'll be done with all your exams, your results and everything is out. All right. Passing out this particular year. All right. Most probably, as in, it will be great if you can put the month also. Let's say 2023. From 2020, there are 12 months, right? So you can put the month. It's tentatively month. You can always ask your career guidance unit or maybe your senior lecturers what is a like approximately tentative month will be there. So they will definitely know, right? Because let's say if you are like a person who's like starting off your degree in 2019 June, your semester will end in somewhere in 2023, or maybe I'm not too sure. You are to 2023 or 2024, 23 basically in Jan or something, because you'll have a four, like every semester you might be having 4 months if I'm not mistaken, right? So make sure that you always have that, because I'm just generally saying, because the degree that I did it, all right. So generally saying I had only like, 4 months per semester. I had a 1 month summer break as well. So likewise that you have to mention that, all right. Don't put the mention summer break or anything, but mention your graduation time. All right. So those are the information that we really check it out. Because Virtusa, what we normally does is, so I'm giving you the examples from Virtusa because these are the criteria that we check it out. Maybe the criteria might be from company to company differs, but mainly we'll be checking the general criteria. Yeah, will adequate to the general one. So when we are trying to graduate or undergraduate, when we are trying to recruit an undergraduate, we normally check when this person is trying to graduate. Let's say if you're gonna get graduated in next 3 months or like next 2 months of time, we try to put you for a permanent position, not to give an internship, because we'll be definitely having sort of probational period and everything. So that time we can train you, right? We try to put you for the permanent position, right? So let's say if you have another 1 more year to complete your degree, then we'll put you for a permanent internship, and then we'll get you for a permanent position thereafter for a higher designation. That's how we do. All right. Maybe the other companies, they might be differs, but I'm not too sure. But for us, this is what we do. This is what we expect as well. So you need to understand. You need to cater to what you expect, what the company is expecting. All right. So these are general terms. So make sure that you put your degree, what are the degree that you're following, and then your university, the partner university and the affiliated university, and the timeline. Very important, guys. Timeline when you start your degree, when you're going to finish your degree, and put your current semester, the year that you are in, third year first semester, third year second semester, or fourth year first or second, whatsoever, and then tentatively put what is your graduation timeline as well. You don't have to list down like these are the modules that you did, these are the things that you follow. Maybe you can put, if you've done a special module which is really aligned to your this particular job role. Let's say if you're done in a special module which is distinguished with other modules, all right, if that's really applicable for data science, you can definitely put that, because that stands out, right? Because let's say if we have 30 profiles, all right, like 5 to 6 different university students are applying, all right. So let's say in NSBM, they are they are giving, this particular module is actually relevant to the industry. If you think that if that particular module is relevant to the industry, put that one, because that's what it's gonna stand it out. Okay, that's what want to make you stand out, not that putting the bolted icons and everything, guys. Okay, this is what gonna stand it out. So make sure that you use that as well. All right. If you have any questions, take it down. I'll definitely answer during the course of the session. All right. Then we are going to go extracurricular activities, achievements, and publications. All right. So, what are the extracurricular? Let's say if you are a person who's achieved in a if you are a university level or national level, if you have gone for international level, then perfect. Put it there. You have to mention what is the topmost one. let's say if you're like a person who's like, sorry, extracurricular activities, you have to mention what are the extracurricular activities that you have done, right? If you have been a senior prefect, or if a games captain, or if you're participated, sorry, if you're done, if you're involved with the first 11 cricket team or first 15 rugby team, whatsoever, or tennis team or whatever, if you're in the band, whatever extracurricular activities, mention that. But don't fill everything with that, because there are our Sri Lankan mentality, like, a lot of students have seen, like when they go for this extracurricular activity, because we all of us like to do extracurricular activities, right? Beyond the studies and the work. So when they go for this particular section, they used to, normally, like, not everyone, like majority of them, they used to have it like, half of the page filled with extracurricular activity. All right, don't have that. 5 to 6 is more than enough, right? You don't have to like fill your CV with extracurricular activities. Achievements, when you go for achievements, make sure that you put your achievements as the topmost one. All right, don't have these achievements like in grade, in under 12 you have achieved this. If you are something national, or if you're like, let's say if you are a, let's say for an example, if you are in the cricket team, or if you have in the some other sports activity, all right, you have already represented your first 15 school, first 15, sorry, in first 11 cricket team, and you have achieved this, won this particular award or something like that, you can put it like that. Or don't try to put like every single award that you have won. All right, if it is the topmost award, put it. I hope you guys can understand what I'm saying, right? Let's say in that particular curricular, let's say if you're a cricketer, topmost one that you have achieved, mention that one. All right, don't mention like, in the under 12, under 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, whatever that you have mentioned, that you have achieved. Don't put everything. Don't fill that gap. All right, like that. All right. So this is, if you have whatever that you have achieved, topmost one, just put it. Publication is the like, let's say if you are like a good content writer. All right. If you are like a person who's like, because lately data science, like, that will be really applicable. If you have done something like, really innovative thing, if you're like identify something innovative, mention that and put the URL as well. Like which we have mentioned in the priorly in the personal details. Likewise over here also mention the URL. So the people will go and, more research about, maybe they can, if you are a writer, if you are a content creator, whatsoever, you can always put your publication, what you have published, or if you're like a person who has like gone out and published any books or whatsoever, mention that. All right, so those are the things that actually make you stand out, because we actually check not only your GPA and everything. And guys, sorry, I actually forgot to mention one thing, sorry about it. When you're going for a qualification, when you're, if you are a graduate, please mention your GPA as well. GPA is also very important. All right, I'm so sorry that I actually forgot to mention that one. So those are the things that we actually like, we expect from yours. All right, so the GPA and all those things, which is very important. So going back, publication, if you're like, let's say if you are to publish something, make sure that you actually put it out there as well. All right, let's go on to the very last point, reference. Please do not put this quote, reference upon request. Do not, because that actually doesn't showcase the professionalism, or that doesn't give good impression about yours, right? You're undergraduate or you're fresh grad, you need to have a reference which is very transparent for everyone. All right, before you put somebody reference, please go and ask them and tell about, this is what your CV, please give your CV to them and ask about yourself. All right, just ask them, okay, this is what, who am I, okay, this is what I am applying, this is what I would like, can I put you as a referee for my CV? Please ask them. Upon their request, you can put it. All right, but make sure that you put them, like, their name, their designation, where they're currently employed, and their, if possible, like put their personal contact number. If not so, put their email address. Email address is very important. If not so, put their personal, if it's possible, put their personal email, the mobile number as well. All right, but please mention 2 people. All right, very important. Okay, and also tell them that you are gonna put them as a referee, because a lot of people, we call the people and ask them, hi, like, hi, can I talk to Mr. And, and then we ask them, okay, can I, so this person has put you as a referee. So can I get more details about this person? And the referee will, like, couple of times we have heard back, I don't know who this person is. How do you find my contact number? They will ask us. And we go and say, okay, this person so and so have applied to our company Vajuza, and this person has put you as a referee. So we want to get some information. They will say, sorry, I don't know about this information, so I cannot share any details about this. You're rejected. Because we do background verification as well. That is a very mandatory option. I think for all the IT companies, they does it. All right, not only in Virtusa, all the IT companies, the background verification is a must. All right, so we do background verification. One of the option is reference check. We do that. Don't think that section is not, nobody cares about it, or like that's just the two people are just there to fill the gaps and everything. No, you need to put that. All right, make sure that you put it. So who are those two people who to identify? When you're like an undergraduate or a fresh graduate, please make sure that you put one of the senior lecturer or from the career guidance unit or whatsoever from your university point. All right, because they know they know, like, who the person you are. All right, so you will be definitely having the good terms with your lecturers and everyone. So always have a good terms with your lecturers, which is very important until your career ends. All right, so they will always support you. So make sure, like, when you put your reference, put your senior lecturer or career guidance unit or your university dean or whoever who's like who knows about you from the university level. All right, nobody else. All right, don't put your friend or whatsoever. All right, so it has to be the person who's in a high authority or high profession. All right, should be a senior lecturer above that. All right, so make sure that you a lecturer who has taught you, not that don't put, like, some different faculty, different lecturer who never have seen you in the university at all. All right, make sure that we have seen across those of things as well. All right, so there are people who put the lecturers, and when we call this lecturer, hi madam, like, have you like, know this person, how is this person from the classes and everything? And she used to say, I don't know whether this person studied in our university. So there are, we have heard that terms as well. So make sure that you put the lecturers who have taught you and who has been in terms of your curriculum, right? And the second person, it should be a lawyer or like, magistrate or whoever who's like in a civil, like, civil laws and everything. All right, so because the reason that we want to, how do you, like, select, how do you, or else maybe you're somebody who's like who's in a corporate. All right, whom you know about. Let's say if you're while you're doing your final year project, you might be get involved with somebody in the corporate. So make sure that you put those people as well, those person as one. All right, you might be having, like, good bond with that person while you're doing the final research or whatsoever, that you might be involving a lot with them. So they might be know a lot about you, because the reason that we are going to put references, they should know about you. Right? They need to talk on behalf of you. They need to say, okay, this person so and so is a person whom you can trustly hire them. So that's the type of thing that you need to showcase them. All right, so make sure that you put right over there. Okay, so these are the couple of templates that I want to showcase with you all. All right, so be creative in a sense. Don't put, like, fancy colors and all those things. So you can see a couple of CVs, structure it up. Like, don't go with paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs. No, not at all. That's not the way that we are portraying. So make sure that you put, like, align properly, structure it properly, and address and everything should be there, which has to be at a glance. We need to see who you are and we need to know who you are. All right, design in a way that how we can actually have a sort of sensible things for a recruiter or maybe the hiring manager to have a good impression about your CV. There are a lot of people might ask, okay, can I put my photo or can I put my picture on my CV? Yes, of course you can. There is no restriction. If you really think that you want to put it out. If not, so that's perfectly fine. That's not a like, criminal activity if you don't put or something like that. So you can, if you want, you can definitely put, but it's not a must. But there are occupation, there are, like, couple of things, couple of places that they will make sure that this photo is the CV contents with photo is a must. So jobs like marketing, external communication, so those are the things we need to go out and talk about and everything. So those are the must, but mainly in IT corporate that we normally don't check it out. But if you put it, then it's perfectly fine. That's not an issue at all. All right. When you're putting a picture, okay, fine. Let's say if you're decided to put the picture, then when you're putting up a picture, please put a professional picture or a smart casual picture. Okay. We have seen group pictures in a CV. I don't know how that person, so these are the CV, we totally reject that. And we don't consider the CV at all, right? I'm not making up, we have seen, okay? We have seen CV, not very far. We have 2 days before, I got a CV, all right? And that person has put a group picture about that person. Group picture, I say that person is standing in front, behind there are 4 to 5 people standing behind it, all right? Which is very bad. Don't have that, okay? Put a professional picture or else a smart casual. It's smaller. No casual, all right? Please don't send your CVs with t-shirts and, collared t-shirts or collarless t-shirts or whatsoever. Smart casual with a tie and whatsoever, and then go for a professional. Ideally, professional picture would do, but if you don't have something like that, go for a smart casual, which is very important. Okay, then that's how those are the formats and templates and designs. You can see a couple of templates that have been mentioned. So make sure that you adequate to this as well, right? Couple of things that I want to, so we have come across the last page of this session, all right? Couple of things that I want to mention to you guys. Your CV should demonstrate the unique blend of your skills and experience, which I have been keep on repeating throughout the session, all right? Which I'm going to give you like a overall summary of what we are going to give it up, all right? Your CV should be unique, all right? Unique means unique. All right, don't have any other mentality of this company knows me very well, so I don't have to worry about it. I just can send whatever I can, and they will recruit me. No way we are not going to do that. Especially in Virtusa, no way we are not going to do that, right? Make sure that your CV should be blend of skills and experience. All right, the JD, the job description, and your CV should match each other, which is where you can get the job. All right. You might be wondering, look, why am I not getting the jobs, or what am I not gonna get anything, right? That means you're not following anything that we have mentioned over here. All right. There might be options there might be no opportunities, and there is no company's not gonna hire people or whatsoever. That is a different thing. All right. You don't have to worry about that. But if a company is hiring, but if still that your profile is not getting selected, which means so you have missed all these points. All right. Be neat. Make your CV attractive. All right. Neatness is not attractive means not putting out all these big icons and big how do I say, like the bolding or different colors. No, not like that. When you're in a simple, humble, it's more than enough, right? To be more attractive, right? Check million times, 1 million, 10 million, 1,000 million times. Please do check. Right? No spelling errors or no grammar mistakes should be there. State work education in a reverse, which is the chronicle order. Whatever you're doing, it should be a descending order. Or whatever you're doing right now, you have to mention on the very first and then go down, right? Then you have to structure. Proper punctuation should be a very must. Keep it simple. Don't exaggerate with words, and don't put fancy words or maybe something totally irrelevant words or whatsoever. So keep it to the simple. Simple is way best. We love it. All right. So then limit your CV to 2 pages, maximum 2 pages. If you go beyond 2 pages, please, we do not consider that CV at all, even though if you're a batch top or under Dean's list or, first class or whatsoever. All right. Make sure that you really adequate and follow entirely these. And a couple of don'ts that I want to say is do not put your CVs in a way that cannot be read or cannot be opened or anything. We always make sure that you send a test mail to your CV, sorry, your email, and check whether you can open that file, or send it to your friend or whoever, then just ask that person, can you open this file and check whether it's opened up now, whatsoever. Just check it before you send it across. And one important thing that I want to say is, do not get your CV done by someone. Let's say I am not supposed to get my CV done by somebody else. All right. And do not replicate your CV of your friend who has done the CV. We have seen, all right, this is a very true story that I'm going to share with you guys. We saw one batch from one particular university, that batch, entire batch has done one CV. There's no changes, only the name, mobile number, and the email address, same, all right? The education, everything remains the same. It's just a copy paste. All right. Then what we did was, entire batch of people profile got rejected. Okay. Entire batch. All right. All 50, that was like, close to, sorry, not 50, 60 or 70. The entire batch got rejected. Didn't hire any single person from that batch. All right. So the person who has initially made the CV also got rejected. All right. So don't have that. Don't have that mentality, right? Each and every person should be unique. You should be unique of yourself, right? You can't replicate. You can get idea. That's a different story. You can get an idea. You can get some clarifications, or you can get some, help from your friend to structure it properly, and then that's perfectly fine. Or make your CV and send it to your friend or whoever who knows about things, or send it to your lecturers or whoever who can help you out. Send it to them for the correction. And don't ask them to do your CV, which is a very bad thing. All right. Structure it properly, do this and that, and align it properly and send it across. Hey, would you mind just, can you read it out and say what are the things that I want to put more, or, what are the things that I want to cut it off, or whatsoever. Or maybe you can ask your lecturer, sir or madam, can you please help me to structure this properly, or whatsoever. They won't say definitely no to you. They will say always welcome. All right. So make sure that you put it out and get it corrected from them, and do not get that done by themselves. All right. So which is a very bad thing. If you, I don't like to say this word, if you get caught, you are absolutely rejected. Or then we don't consider you at all. All right. We don't find you as an honest and genuine person. Right. Which is, we really want candidate more than the education or more than the everything. We really want people who are genuine and who are honest to what they are doing, which is very important. And that makes you who you are, and unique as well. All right. So your CV need to stand up, and that's how we're going to do it up. All right. Okay. Great stuff. So thank you so much for listening, guys. So I'm opening up for the Q&A. So I would earnestly request you all to unmute your microphone and talk. And if you're not in a position to unmute your microphone, please pick up in your, how do I say, the chat box. Please use the chat box. Yes. So there is Unera has asked, like, can I know the difference between the CV and the resume? So CV is a curriculum vitae. It's a Latin word. All right. Resume, it's to be honest, there is no huge differentiation. All right. So CV is a thing that actually makes with the how do I say, with the opening letter. All right, with the this opening letter that you have to give it to the recruitment team. All right, the opening letter that you have to give it. And the resume, it's also a sort of, it's not a different differentiation, but it's like in a two different sort of stating that you're how do I say, the word difference, right? So resume and CV, like it's not a huge difference though. So both are the same though. Yeah. Because we don't differentiate. Okay, you have to send your CV. You have to send your resume. We don't differentiate like that. Your CV and resume are like both the same. Yeah. Anybody? Hope Yanara or anything that you want to clarify beyond that? Anybody else? No worries. Yeah. Anybody else who would like to unmute your microphone and ask any questions? Go ahead. Oh, I hope everyone got cleared and everyone has got a lot of information about it. If so, like yeah. Anybody else who want to get any other question clarified? Nope. All right. If that's not so, all right. If I'll just give you my contact number as my email address as well, guys.
So
Hi,
there is
sir.
yes,
Yes,
there is a one question from student. What are the importance of references?
Sorry, Selmi, I just lost your.
So there is a one question from student. What are the importance of references? There is a must or not?
So if I can rephrase your question, that you are asking, like importance of references, is it a must or not? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a must. It's clear cut. Yeah, it's a must. So you need to put your reference. Absolutely, it's a must. We check it up. We absolutely check it up. So it's a must. Yes. Hope that answered that question in a very short way. So if there is anything that you want to ask, Semini, or anybody else?
So there is another question.
Okay.
What about the image of the person in a CV?
Image in a sense that the picture that you want to put it out in the CV, is it?
Is it a must or not?
It's based on you. So you can choose it either to put it or not. It's not the must. But if you think that you want to put it, then you can go ahead. But if not, so that's perfectly fine. Yeah. But when you're going for an interview, that's a different, we can take it for a different scale, different forum. When you're going for an interview, it's a must to be on a video camera. All right. So don't have that without the video camera. So it's a must that you have to have it. So yeah. Anything else, guys? And I have sent my email address to the chat box. So if you all want to try it out at Virtusa, if you need any clarification, just write it to me. Yeah. So that is one person. Sorry, Pumi, you want to ask anything? All right, sorry. Maybe that would have been a mistake. So that was one person has asked, like, so if you CV rejected in the first possible terms, of course, yeah. So CV rejected, since there are a couple of things that it got rejected. So you can ask the recruitment team why it got rejected. So maybe there might be like not mismatch, like matching yours, whatever you mentioned or whatsoever, or maybe there might be no positions available for your CV. But you can reapply. That's for sure. You can't. If you're getting rejected, you can apply after some time. But it's not a like your CV, like unless and until you do something dishonest thing that we blacklist. But apart from that, we normally don't blacklist the CV which is got rejected. Rejected in the sense, like if you not perform well in that interview, if you get selected, you can always try for the next time. That's for sure. Yeah.
So there is one more question.
Yes.
Some are creating the CV, including the LinkedIn profile link also. So do we need to include it?
Sorry, I didn't get your question, Salman. Can you come back again?
Some are creating the CV, including the LinkedIn profile link name also. So do we need to include it?
Included in a sense, you mean the LinkedIn link, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. If it possible, yes. If you have the LinkedIn profile, please do include. And if you don't have, tonight go and create a LinkedIn and account and put your LinkedIn link over there as well. So make sure that you put the LinkedIn link. Yes, it's an important thing. At Wordusa, we normally check that. So it's important. Yeah. And put the correct URL. So like we have seen that they have put some of the unsupportable URL. So don't have that. That's all. So always make sure that your supportable URL is a must. Okay. So there is Achira or Achara has mentioned. So what are the main reasons why your CV might get rejected? There are a couple of things. So that's what I said, like throughout the sessions, like, there are a lot of things that you might CV get rejected. So which means like, it's kind of bit like, repeating up over and over again. So first is like, you have not structured it properly. And then you have not been really aligned your profile with the job description. If you get aligned with the job description, you will definitely get it out. But if you really don't, you won't be able to have that. So apart from that is the main important things is like, you have, if you're not been structured your profile in a very correct way, all right? Or maybe there are spelling mistakes or that the punctuations are not been there. So those are the reason that your CV get rejected, but beyond that, like there's nothing. Yeah. Hope I answered your question. And you guys can always call me Aniston, because we don't use sir or madam at Watusa. So you just call my by first name. Yeah. Thank you for that. Achira, so hope that answered your question. All right. Okay. Thanks. Anybody else who would like to take any questions? Anybody else, guys? I actually have another meeting at 12. So, okay, that's it. Sorry. Okay, I'll take up this question. Like we mentioned, the title position we are applying on the CV. Should we mention the title? Yes, please do. Yeah, that's what I said in the before as well. So please do mention your title, what you're applying for, which is very important, internship or executive role or associate executive role, which is very important that you mention the title. So, and the track that you mentioned, the machine learning or artificial intelligence or whatsoever that you're mentioning, it's an absolute thing that you have to mention. Yeah, that's important thing. Yes. All right, no props. So guys, like I have a very hard stop at around 12. I have to just, as I said, I have to go back to another review meeting. So we have a lot of reviews happening these days. So I have to jump into another review call. So thank you so much for the opportunity. And I really enjoyed interacting with you all. I'm sorry to say that I couldn't able to make it up physically, but would love to have that physical as well, because human touch is very important and I love it personally. So hope for the best, like, maybe in a couple of times, and we can have it. And wish you all the very best and find yourself, and really appreciate the university taking the initiative to get the students like these sessions. And please do feel free to talk to us if you need any more support from your end. All right. So I'm signing off, and let me and Professor, thank you so much for the opportunity. And Semini, wonderful. Thank you so much for your intro and, guiding, driving these conversations. So thanks, team. Thanks, everyone, for joining in, and have a great day.
That will be the end of our session. Once again, thank you very much, Mr. Aniston, for taking a special time to conduct this session. Though I have been there as the combatant, I learned a lot from this session, and now we all know how to create a professional CV, and it will not be an issue anymore. Thank you so much, all my colleagues too, for joining the session. Last but not least, we must thank our head of department, Dr. Chamindra Vijay, lecturer, Ms. Netmi and Ms. Pabasara, and really appreciate the support given and for organizing such a webinar series. Thank you very much, and we will meet soon again with another important session. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Have a great day and wish you all the best. Thanks, guys.